Girl, what are you waiting on? Follow me on Instagram, like, comment, subscribe, and click that bell notification. Good morning. I'm in the car headed to work. It is currently 7:18 a.m. Today is December 1st, day 2 of Vlogmas. My boobs look huge, but it's because I got my scarf tucked into my jacket. That's how I wear my scarf to keep my neck warm. So anywho, today's agenda includes going to work, working for the man, and then coming home and working out. But I'm gonna work out at the gym today. Yesterday I did HIIT at home. I have been doing that since our house has been destroyed, at least one time a week, because usually I get up at around 4:30, 4:45 a.m. to go to the gym, but I don't want to disturb my husband, so I haven't been getting up and going to the gym in the morning. So today I'm going to go in the evening. I really hate going to the gym after work because I just like to chill after work. But you got to do things to compromise, okay? And I'm not trying to wake my husband up at 4:30, 4:45, because usually he'd be knocked out in the basement after watching sports or working late when our house isn't destroyed. But I got to compromise. So anywho, that's the plan after work, and then we'll go from there. That thing all loud. So I'll check in with y'all later. Goodness, I almost forgot to tell you why. Okay, a little background. Every now and then I wake up with a song in my head, and it could be the most random song. Yesterday I woke up, this morning I woke up with Chloe Bailey's song in my head. Ain't nothing but a little light flex. I'm just out here flexing on my ex. Ain't nothing but a little light at 6:15 in the morning. Girl, you're too high. So anywho, happy Wednesday. Hello, it is officially post-work hours. Y'all, so I opened up my Instagram while I was at work earlier in the day, and this Vice News article had popped up. And it said that New York opened up the first safe injection site in the United States. What is that, you might ask? Okay, so first of all, for those of you who are new here and have not watched my YouTube channel trailer intro, excuse me, I'm a mental health and substance abuse therapist by training. And safe injection sites are places, buildings, etc. that provide a safe and clean atmosphere for IV drug users to use their drugs. Now, this first started, or it became very popular in British Columbia, Vancouver. It was the first site in North America to open up. So anywho, New York opened up their first site, and or maybe it was two, because I read that there's one in East Harlem and then one in Washington Heights. And I am excited. So I'm thinking about doing a sit down video to talk about safe injection sites and all that it entails. Because I want to see where the country is going to go with this now. Because first we had the marijuana legalization in Virginia being the first southern state to make marijuana legal. Started with decriminalizing it first. There's a difference between the two. And now we got safe injection sites in New York. Oh, this is drug policy reform right here, okay? Because we all know that just say no and criminalizing drug users did not work, okay? So anywho, I'm probably going to film a sit down video so that we can talk about that. And I am heading home now. Fingers crossed that I feel like going to the gym. The thing about going to the gym, especially, that's what it is. That's one of the reasons why I hate it. I really don't like going to the gym after work, because at work I have to sit under fluorescent lights, which really hurt my eyes now. Like, it didn't start hurting until I was working from home for a while, and then I went back. I was like, ooh, fluorescent lights are ghetto. But the gym has fluorescent lights too, and I don't like going from those lights back to more lights when I don't necessarily have to endure it. When I go in the morning, I'm starting my day with it, so at least I get that energy boost. I don't know. So that's why I'm usually either running outside. See that man running. Maybe I just need to hit the pavement for a run today. That was gonna be my plan tomorrow because it's gonna be warmer outside. But anywho, that's why I prefer to just run outside after work or do an at-home workout. But whatever my decision is, I'm gonna need to make it quick with the sun setting at 5 p.m. I'm gonna probably still save my outdoor run for tomorrow. That's what I'm gonna do. As you can see, I am home from the gym. If you end up seeing like a white cast in my hair, it's because I've had my twisting for a few weeks now. So I took my shower without my shower cap on so the moisture could get in it. And then I actually moisturized my hair with some cream and oil. Now that we got that out the way, I am building kale salads for dinner tonight. So I'm about to get that together. And while I do that, let's talk about the safe injection site in New York like I was telling y'all about. A little background, the first North American safe injection site was in British Vancouver, which is in Canada, right near Seattle, basically. And that went up in 2003. It's called Insight. And what they did was they recognized that people were dying from overdose deaths, and the system that they were using wasn't working, much like the American system. So they formed a union called Avendo. I thought I had wrote it down in my notes, but I didn't. But they formed a union of drug users. So they were all drug users in active addiction, and they formed a union. And they were advocating for their rights to have somewhere to use drugs safely so that they could feel human. So anywho, after research studies were passed and strict mandates and all of that went through, they built Insight and it opened in 2003. Now British Vancouver has like 40 something plus safe injection sites. Now, a safe injection site is basically like, y'all probably don't know anything about this. If you ever visit somebody in jail, it's kind of like that, where it's booths. So not prison, but jail. So you have like these metal tables, and then there are partitions dividing each section. When the user comes into the safe injection site, sometimes they're often referred to as overdose prevention sites. So when the user comes into the site, they're given their kit. So drug users, usually IV users, they have something that they call a kit that they keep their needle, their armband, and other drug supplies in, like their lighter, et cetera, et cetera. So the site gives them a kit with clean needles, sterile water, and all the other equipment that they need. The drug user takes the kit, they bring their own drugs, and then they go use in a safe and clean environment. So what happens is you have case managers, therapists, and also active drug users in there watching and monitoring to make sure that the person doesn't overdose and die. So in the British Vancouver site, they have people who are in active addiction actually working, which is really phenomenal, a very phenomenal concept, because you have people who have dedicated their life to drugs now being able to do something meaningful with their life. Because a lot of times when people are in active addiction, they become depressed and their life solely focuses around drug use. So if you give them a job, it could potentially add more meaning to their life, and then that could lead to them reducing how much they use and or becoming sober in the long run. So it's a very phenomenal concept, because usually with peer recovery specialists, at least in Virginia, you have someone who is in recovery from a mental health disorder or substance use, but they have to be in recovery, meaning sober, in order to get the job. So I like the fact that they're still utilizing people who are in active addiction to help people who are still using. So anywho, safe injection sites are important because you reduce the risk of passing along HIV through dirty needles and hepatitis C through dirty needles. Just phenomenal work, just phenomenal work. And also it brings the humanity back to the addict. So usually when people are shooting up, they're doing it alone. They're doing it in bathrooms. That's why when you often hear of people overdosing and dying, they're alone in a bathroom, slumped over or something. For the people who don't have a home, they're out behind some train tracks, out behind an abandoned building, things like that, and they're just dying. They're using dirty water to shoot up. So it puts the humanity back into them. It makes them feel human again and allows them to feel like people actually care for them. It's such an amazing concept. And with that, British Vancouver has seen way less overdose deaths. So I'm excited to see what it ends up looking like in New York. You know, folks don't like them kind of people and them kind of things in their neighborhoods. But I think from what I read, they put the safe injection sites in the New York cities that already have methadone clinics, and methadone is used to help treat opioid addiction. So, I mean, you might as well put another option there for treatment. Now, a lot of people say that when you put the clinic in a neighborhood, or if you have the clinic, it creates this idea that more people are going to want to use because you are like promoting drug use. They call it the honeypot effect. But according to the research that British Vancouver has done, that's actually not the case. So they do like a drug history of the people who come to the clinic, and they ask them, you know, like, how long have you been using, to find out if they've been using simply because the safe injection site was there and they were using long before then. There was something else that I wanted to mention about the clinic. Oh, another good thing about the clinic is that when the person comes in to use their drugs safely, they can provide a fake name. They have to sign in, right? So when they sign in, the people working at the site, they ask them what drug they're using, and then they can also get their drug tested. So let's say your drug of choice is heroin, but you got fentanyl mixed in with your heroin. You can decide that you don't want to use that batch of heroin that day because you're not trying to overdose and die, because the majority of people who are dying from opioid overdoses now have their heroin laced with fentanyl. I don't know if you all know this, but America reached, excuse me, my contact was flipping, but America reached 100,000 opioid overdose deaths this year. And to put it into perspective, 70,000 people died in 2019. So we're looking at 3,000 more people dying in just a 2-year time span. I would definitely say that the pandemic contributed to that, because the pandemic promoted a lot of isolation and encouraged isolation. That's why we saw people, like government entities, started changing the language from social distancing to something else that made it kind of more friendly because people were dying or whatever. So comment down below what your thoughts are for people who have lost someone due to overdose deaths in their families. You have my heart. I'm praying for you. But things like this can be so beneficial to our community. Imagine the mothers that are out there that could still have their children now if these sites were available. Because like Philadelphia was trying to get one for some time, but it kept getting turned down because you know how folks are. They don't want them kind of people in their neighborhoods and etc. So I'm excited to see where this goes. It's fitting that they have it in New York because New York is, of course, by water. So you want to have it in a corridor that's predominantly filled with drug activity and stuff. So I could definitely see it going to California as well, because California tends to be a more liberal state. It would take forever for it to come down south. But if you have it near the water, major highways like 95, because 95, which is our highway on the East Coast, is a high intensity drug trafficking area. So that's all that I got, girl. I am going to finish making this salad. Like I said, comment down below what you think about safe injection sites with all the information that I shared. And I will catch y'all later. Happy day 2 of Vlogmas. Bye.